The amount of performance available today for not that much money is quite frankly awesome. For the small sum of just $30,000, you can get with this or you can get with that. But which of these sports cars is really where it's at? Yep, just a hair over 30 grand gets you either a Nissan 370Z base coupe or the Hyundai Genesis 3.8 R-Spec coupe. For that price, you get big V6 power, rear-wheel drive, and a proper 6-speed manual transmission. There are some key differences though between the two cars. The Genesis is much larger. It's nearly 1.5 feet longer. Now that allows it to have a proper back seat. It also has a conventional trunk, whereas the 370Z has a liftgate. Now normally something that's a hatch has more cargo space, but that's not the case here, as the Genesis has a much larger trunk than the Nissan's little lift area. For $30,000, not much comes in these cars, but the Genesis does have a telescopic steering wheel, leather seats, and satellite radio, all features missing in the 370Z. Now the Nissan counters by having HID headlights, push-button start, and smart key entry. For my money though, I'll gladly take an old school twist key if it means I have a telescopic steering wheel. Also included on the Gen Coupe R-Spec are some go-fast goodies like a limited slip rear differential, sportier suspension, larger brakes, and larger 19-inch wheels. Now these are all available on the 370Z, but it requires you stepping up to the Sport package, and that means you have to pony up another $3,500. Under the hood, Hyundai continues to bring the bacon. With a slightly larger V6 engine, the Gen Coupe makes 348 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. Now that's an extra 16 horsepower and 25 pound-feet over the 370Z. This allows the Jenny two-door to pull with authority through all the gears, backed by a nice V6 soundtrack thanks to the intake resonator. Hyundai includes a multi-stage stability control system in this car, which allows the system to be fully disabled. Which is good because when it does kick in, it is far too intrusive and cuts all engine power and applies heavy braking. Overall handling is fairly predictable, even if the steering doesn't really communicate with the driver and lacks feel. But maybe the best aspect of the Genesis Coupe is that 4 full-size people can fit in the car. Now, it's not the most comfortable situation to be in, but unlike a lot of other 2+2 coupes, the Genesis can accommodate adults in the back seat. So how does the 370Z compare? Well, having been around since 2009, the 370 is quickly becoming the old man of sports cars, and it's feeling quite dated. The driving position isn't as good as the Genesis, mainly due to the fact that the steering wheel is not telescopic. I feel like I'm straight arming the car at all times. The front seats feel a bit flimsy, and the overall interior design isn't as nice as the Hyundai's. But this car is meant to be driven, so let's get to it. Despite having less power, the 370Z is actually the faster of the two cars in a straight line. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's 230 pounds lighter. Both engines behave and deliver power in a similar way, but there's a higher redline inside the Nissan, and that lets you really scream out the big V6. Problem is, it's too damn quiet and I can't really hear the engine in the base coupe. The clutch in the 370 is a lot heavier and the take-up point is abrupt. Even changing gears requires more effort, but there is a more confidence-inspiring, reassured click when you get it into gear. And the 370 is set up far better for heel-toe shifting. Overall, this is the better transmission. With less weight and a better weight distribution, the 370Z is the more tossable and fun to drive car. Neither car offers incredible levels of grip, but both can handle a corner without issue and are pretty predictable. The 370 though is just a little quicker to respond and more precise. The 370Z steering is a little looser, but it will firm up as speeds build, and as they build you get more and more feedback through the wheel. Even with me feeling more as one with this car, as an added bonus since this is the base coupe, the smaller wheels with the higher sidewall tires offer a softer ride, but the lack of performance goodies on this base coupe do hamper it to a degree. Without the LSD, putting power down coming out of a corner is hard as the inside wheel wants to spin. And without the upgraded brakes, a couple of hard stops and fade starts to creep in. And as equipped, I can't turn off the full stability control system in the 370, but at least when it does kick in, it's not nearly as intrusive as the Genesis Coupe. Two similar cars, yet different takes on performance. If what you're looking for is your one and only car, then get the Genesis. It's a better overall package as it's more practical, more livable, and can carry more than 2 people. But if what you want is a proper sports car, get the 370Z. And now that I've said that, don't buy this car. Save up the extra scratch and get the 370Z Sport. The extra money is well worth the extra performance.